Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniXTCG, and today we'll be going over the new blue deck in Set 3 Raging Roar, the Super Saiyan 2, Angel Goku. And I think this deck actually has a lot more than meets the eye and a lot of implications that are, well, I mean, we're definitely going to want to see the new cards to figure out exactly where it goes, but it definitely should not be written off in my opinion, so we'll get into that. Like I said in every single video, let's get this video over 100 likes. Thank you guys for the support, and just to let you guys know on the Patreon, at the end of just July, we'll be giving away this top 64 Vegeta. Who knows what else we're gonna get at Gen Con that we might throw in for a giveaway. And then on top of that, we are definitely about to do way more things on UniXDB. We are streaming. My streaming schedule is up on my social medias, like my community page for here, as well as my Twitter. So check that out if you want to see some Fusion World streaming, as well as Kingdom Hearts as well. We're doing a lot of stuff over here at Universe X. So all you gotta do is go in the description, check out some stuff, maybe show the Dragon Ball channel some love, and yeah. Now that being said, let us hop into this leader and the support that we can see already. Alright, so the first one we got here is the Goku leader, and a lot of people have been kind of weird about this guy. I'm actually very high on this effect, but you got the front side, standard, when attacking, draw one card, awaken at 4 life or less. But you have this, secondary side, the awaken side. When attacking, draw 2 cards and place 1 card from your hand to the top of its owner's deck. Activate battle opponent's turn once per turn. Switch 1 card in your battle area to rest mode. If you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, this card gains plus 10k power for the battle. So here's a couple things just to get right off the front. Blue, as I've stated plenty of times before, is such a responsive color. Your sickles, your absolute lightnings, your Gallic guns, like, you have so many cards that like you want to get to and hold until the moment is right. There is no better way to do that than to be able to filter 2 cards instead of 1. Every other leader is going to draw 1 card. This guy is going to draw 2 and you're going to put a card back, but not only is that going to set up for top deck value, or cards that look at the top of your deck to get an effect, it's also going to allow you to look 2 cards deeper. You are going to see so many more cards in this particular leader in a blue deck, and that's going to be so good when you don't want to play 4 copies of Absolute Lightning, but you might need to see it in a certain matchup. This is going to go such a long way. Finding your peel off like early as possible so you can have it established when you want. There's a lot going on here. And the other part, the activate battle, is also very, very cool. A lot of people are like, well, it only happens once. Okay, cool. But that's still 1 time that you can go up to 30 and block an attack. That's still 1 card in your hand. And as for a card in your battle area to rest mode, yes, that could be a battle card. That could be a 1-drop Trunks if it's still on the board. That could be a peel off if it's still on the board. But what it can also be is a field card. And we're going to get to that momentarily, because a lot of people also aren't on the field card, but I think that the field card actually has some cool little merits. So here is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the 2 SRs that really bring something to blue. I think both of them are stellar. And then we're going to go over and start talking about the support, which I think is also deceptively good. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about Videl. Videl is a 2-cost, 20k, so solid stats, 0k combo power, which is usually fair when it does something silly. When attacking, if you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, add up to 1 blue non-Videl card with a cost of 3 or less in Earthling and its special traits from your drop to your hand. Now, a lot of people looked at this and saw the 0 combo value and saw this and was like, ugh, but I've been saying this for a long time. If you are not Trunks, you have to be very careful about your peel-off loop, because you're always going to have to leave 1 of them, or however many you played on the board. You're always going to have to make sure that, like, you can't overextend. In Trunks, if you have a peel off and 2 peel offs in trash, your drop, you can play peel off into peel off into peel off and then bounce 1 back in hand and just know that nothing can break your peel off chain outside of you comboing said peel off. No other blue deck can do that unless you're running additional cards like Final Hope Slash, or a card that bounces your card back to hand, but that's more cards. Videl is going to provide a very, very nice bit of utility to where you're going to be able to restart your peel-off chain even if there are none in hand. This is going to be a very, very strong play. For 2, you swing neutral for most leaders. You get your peel-off back to hand, then you can start playing your peel-off. And again, as long as you have protect this, or you can draw another one, you're good. But you might only need to use it once, Normally you're going to be good with your peel-offs, and then you can maybe use this card once in order to reset your peel-off chain. It's going to be a lot better than expected, but I like this because it really does round off blue. Blue is a tight deck space though, because there's more and more cards that kind of almost seem stable. You have your Peel-Off Chain, you have your Zenos, you have your Sickles, you have your Absolute Lightnings, you have your Gallic Guns, you now have your Videl, probably 2 of at minimum. This is a very tight bit of configuration, but I do think that this card is a worthy addition to the Blue suite. Now, moving on to the next one, no bias, but I am a Gohan stan. You have Sun Gohan Adolescence. Great fit. This is actually one of my favorite Gohan fits of all time. On play, he's a 4-cost, 30k 0 combo. On play, if you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards with cost 3 or less and place them at the bottom of your owner's deck. This is for all intents and purposes like Blue's androids. Not in the sense that they're double strike or 40, but in the sense that you're playing a formidable body that's going to get rid of 2 bodies of your opponent. And this is actually going to come into play, I think, a lot. I think this is going to be one of Blue's immediate staples. And on top of that, there's already cards in Blue that I think synergize with it so freaking well. And we're going to get to that later in the video when we kind of come back around. So with that being said, now we're going to be into the support. And like right before I get off of this card is going to definitely be good. Look at how many cards are valuable with 3 costs. This guy's gonna bottom deck 2 bodies while being played. He's a 4 cost, so he's not even gonna, like, even late game, you can play him, another card around him. This guy is just good. Imagine tapping 4 when you have 6 energy to bottom deck 2 cards your opponent controls and still holding up energy for Gallic Gun. Like, this guy is so freaking strong, even with 0 combo value, but we are definitely going to get to this soon. So, the first card I want to talk about is the field card, right? Because it goes hand in hand. The field card is a 1 cost, you can play it on turn 1, turn 2, whatever. Now, it does say, activate main to place this card in its owner's drop, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, and play up to 1 battle card with a cost of 4 or less, and Satan City and special traits. Place the rest at the bottom of its owner's deck in a random order, and it's Earthling and Satan City, and it's a 1 cost. So here's a couple things. 1, it is a 1 cost field, so it's easy to play. 2, a field card sits in your battle area, so this can be the card every turn that you tap for Goku's effect in order to give him that extra 10k for the battle. 3, this is a 1 cost Earthling card, meaning Peel-Off can get it back after you use this effect. And then finally, the final part. There's a lot of low cost cards so far in this color, and that's gonna make people think, why would I pay 2 to play a 2 cost? Why would I play 2 to play a 1 cost? I think that at the very minimum, from what we see now, we can actually use Sun Gohan Adolescence. At any given moment that you wanna play this guy, but you wanna keep your energy up, attack with Goku, draw 2, put this guy on the top of your deck, and then pay 2 to play this guy out instead of paying 4. That is a banger. That is a banger combo right there. So just remember that. If you have this on board and you have Gohan in hand, you're playing Goku leader at any given time, you can just play Gohan for 2. And then if you have 7 or less cards in hand, bottom deck those 2 cards. That's excellent. That is excellent value for me. This card, all in all, I think is deceptively good. Now, we're going to move over to the next one. You got Arasa. Arasa just says on play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 non-Arasa card with 4 or less and Satan. Cost 4 or less and Satan City and a special trait added to the hand. So far, I don't think we've seen enough Satan City cards to make this great. Blue has a lot of gas already, and they're not really Satan City, so unless we see something crazy with these spoilers, I'm not really feeling Arasa being like an auto include, because she's going to bottom deck more than she picks up. Right now we see her picking up Videl, we see her picking up Gohan, we're going to see her pick up a couple more cards in this video, but what we see her bottom decking is like Peel-Offs, Gallic Guns, 5 cost Vegetas, your SCR Vegito if you play, your 3-drop Vegito, your Zenos. There's a lot more that your Sickles, she will bottom deck than pick up. So right now I'm not really feeling it. But real quick, before we finish off the rest of this video, let's have a quick word from our sponsors, because they do help keep this channel afloat. And every now and then they even step in my live streams and give people with boxes, as you guys have probably saw last week. So let's talk about them, both Eclipse and Mystic TCG, and then we will get back on with the video. Alright y'all, taking a quick moment to shout out the sponsors for this video. First up is Mystic TCG, a store based in Missouri that sells all sorts of TCG product, even more than what you see featured here on this page. They also buy singles, collections, and prize cards, so make sure you actually catch them out in their store in Missouri at an event or even on their Facebook, just to be able to see the events here, but also ask them what they're up to and what they're looking for in terms of vending. You can also use the code UNIXTCG to get discounts off your pre-orders as well as orders, so make sure you get your TCG product while it's hot. Then you have Eclipse Cards and Hobby based out of Texas, and if that sounds familiar, they did sponsor me with a box of Fusion World Set 1. But as you can see on this page, there is a plethora of TCG products that they are actually having for sale at their establishment. You can also even buy things that aren't just TCG products. As you can see on the screen right here, they hold their own locals, they hold their own events, and they are going out to more and more events. You can actually check their Facebook to see their schedule, as well as call and ask about their vending list. And at the checkout for their website, you can use the code UNI10X to actually get percentages off your pre-orders or your orders. So go check it out as well. And we're always up to all sorts of things in Universe X. So you can go down the description and check the link tree to find out about my other channels, my Twitch, or any other avenues that I'm creating content on. But if you want to go the extra mile, you can always go down to any description on any video and find my Amazon affiliate links. These products here will differ from video to video to cater to the audience in question, but it's just very easy to see something that you may like or be interested in, open it up and choose the style and or color that'll work for you. All proceeds will give kickbacks to the channel, so it'll be some direct support, and I'll always appreciate the help from you guys. So with that being said, let's get back to the video. Always gonna rep those stores, so yeah, get in the description, check out the links, and yeah, basically just get your cards for a discounted price. So with that being said, let us hop back in to the content. So the next card on our list is gonna be Sharpener. Sharpener is actually pretty interesting. He's a 1-cost 5k power, 10k combo power card. And basically, activate main once per turn, reveal the top card of your deck, and if the revealed card has Satan City and its special traits during this turn, the next time you use an extra card from hand, reduce the cost by 1 blue. Some people have been confused why it says U. I've been saying this for a long time. U is blue because B is black, and that'll happen in most games where they have both black and blue. Now, that being said, this card is very, very, very not sticky. It is a 5k power, meaning that it is being destroyed by almost every single effect that red can throw out. It's a 1-drop, so it's bottom decked in blue. It's killed with Kami, but Kami's kind of weird. You kind of got to go out of your way to play Kami in green right now. Maybe the Piccolo deck will change that. We'll see more support. But this guy is very cool, because with Goku, again, you'll be able to attack with Goku, draw 2 cards, put a Satan City card on the top of your deck, and then activate Sharpener, reveal it, and then play your Sickle for 2. Play your Absolute Lightning for 2. Play your field card for 0. And so using this, you're going to be able to change up your energy economy. And that's a whole thing as well. Yes, you're going to have to wait until your leaders awaken, but this card is going to be able to make some plays. Whether it's going to make it to the point where I'm like, yes, this is an auto include, I don't know. I can't really be up for that. But I do know that this card is going to do good things for blue if it can find a home. This is a very powerful effect, I think, that a lot of people are just kind of underestimating. There's a lot of things you can play. Gallic gunning for free on your turn, because you just like put a card that you already knew you were going to use, and you can always keep putting the same card down to make sure your opponent knows the same card. But literally just like putting a card on top of your deck to make Gallic gun free, and then swinging, and then getting, you know, the draw, and it comes to your hand. There's just a lot of stuff you can do with this card, and while I don't think that it's prime because of its 5k power and how expendable, like when good 1-drops hit the board, they're not hard to deal with. If a 1-drop becomes too good in a format, people just start boarding things that are going to erase it. But I think that this is still a good card. Next, you have one of the more iffy cards, I think. And it's not even I think, I just don't like variables like this. This is called Great Saiyaman. It's a 1-cost extra card. Activate main, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards that cost less than or equal to the number of cards of Satan City and their special traits in your battle area, and place it at the bottom of its owner's deck. If you have the field card out, this is at least going to bottom deck a 1-cost. But if you have the field card out and maybe a Gohan out, this is going to bottom deck a 2-cost. But you see what I'm saying? Anything you can pass that so far is counting on like 1-drops and a 2-drop Videl. I don't think that's enough to really, like, you want to bottom deck something like 4-cost or 5-cost to make this really effective, and that can be brought into fruition by cards like Vegito that are going to lower cost. But I just feel like this is kind of weird, and if you draw this to an empty board, what is it doing? Absolutely nothing. So I feel like this card is just, it has too many variables to be ran correctly, and that's just going to kind of put it on the bottom of the totem pole for me. If I'm wrong, if we see some more stuff later, if we see some cards, a little insurance, a little way to stay on the board, then I'll eat my words. But yeah, right now this just does not really seem like it's it. Now, something that I do like going back to the Son Gohan Adolescence is that he actually fulfills part of a very strong curve. Like, imagine you do your turn 1, you do your turn 2, then your turn 3, you play out Vegito. And Vegito is going to be able to come down and bottom deck something that's a 1 cost. Or if he was the 8th card in hand, you're going to bottom deck something that costs 2. Your next turn, you draw, you charge, I play your 4-drop Gohan, and then you can sickle things. You're bottom decking 2 4 costs now. 4 costs or less. And yes, your opponent won't really have 2 4 costs on the board, but even later in the game, if you have Vegito's out, and you start doing that. Let's say you have Vegito and Vegito out, because sometimes you can stick him. If you don't attack with him, he's pretty solid. 25k is a nice space if you're not attacking with it. And then you play your Gohan out and start bottom decking 2 5 costs. Like, he gets really, really, really good. He gets buffed by these cards. And then also, another thing I think people should not discount is that he is a 4 cost, meaning that you can pick him up with Goku Black, and then you can drop him back down. Like, you can pick him up with Goku Black, and then attack with Goku Black, and then play a 30k body that'll bottom deck 2 bodies, and then swing with that. This Gohan slots into red so well. Like, there are just so many good parts about this card. His cost, his effect, and it's just gonna slot really, really well into blue. So I'm here for it. I really do feel like this is just a really good space to have this card. I'm excited. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about, this is not quite fitting into the theme, but this is still a card that's actually going to put in some work, and that is going to be the Mighty Mask card. As you guys mostly know, Mighty Mask is literally Trunks sitting on top of Goten's shoulders to participate in the adult section of the World Tournament, and this guy is good all around. 2 costs, 20k power, good. 10k on the stats, good. Permanent, this card's name is also treated as Son, Goten, and Trunks youth in all areas. This is going to change a lot. There's good Trunkses you can use, there's good Gotens you can use, but now you don't have to use any bums. You can actually just play this, and as long as you have 1 in the trash, you're always going to be able, with the drop, you're always going to be able to get another piece somewhere, work that in. This is just a very, 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 very cool way to round out the Gotenks package, to be able to make sure that you're always getting your best combos worth. You put this in the trash, or the drop once, I keep saying trash, you put this in the drop once, and you can always decide whether or not you want a Trunks and a 1-drop Trunks and a 10k Goten, 10k Goten on this 10k body right here. You know, if you play the bounce Goten or something, you can get that, and this, like, you have more options, and you can always manipulate that combo power freely. So I really like where this is going, and I'm very, very excited for it. So let's move over to the kind of overall view of this, in my opinion, and then we'll end up the video. So overall, I think that there's some cool stuff to be had here. I think Videl offers some consistency, a lack of combo power, but some consistency to blue strategies. I think that the Gohan is a very, very, very powerful mid-game card, and who can get buffed just by how blue works in general, in tandem with, like, Vegito, in tandem with how Goku Black will just, like, spam the board with cards and can make boards, making some more consistent bodies to pressure with. I think that blue may be tight in terms of deck space, but with a leader that's able to pick up 2 cards and put 1 back, you're going to be able to be a little more loose with your ratios at time, because you will be able to see more cards. You'll still have your 1 cost draw ones, you know, but you're also going to have your leader seeing 2 once he awakens. So I do think that blue is in for an interesting space next set, and I do think that it's going to be a powerhouse going into the following set. It's just getting more and more, and I can't wait to see what people put together. Let me know in the comments what you think of this Goku leader with its support. Let me know what you want to see most once we get all of the spoilers for this color, and I will be right back with you guys. So thank you. I will see you the following video. I'm streaming later today, just kicking it casually, playing up the ladder with some decks, practicing, just getting some reps in, trying out some different things for Gen Con. And yeah, I will see you guys wherever I see you guys. Thanks. Later.